Hi, this is Wayne Crowley of Prophecy Proof Insights. In this video, I want to go over Luke 17:37, which I believe is one of the most overlooked yet most important verses in all Bible prophecy. And the reason why I think it's one of the most overlooked is because I just really don't see Bible prophecy commentators or books or anything address the verse. It's just often overlooked. A couple nights ago, I was watching a reenactment of the book of Luke, and when they went over Luke 17 in verse 37, they just kind of laughed it off and played it off like it was nothing. It's just a verse that's really overlooked. Yet it's one of the most important because that verse has the ability to completely alter a person's end time viewpoint. I'm one of the people, because I was writing my book, Prophecy Proof Insights of the End Times. No shameless plug there, but I want to mention the book because I was writing the book and I was almost done with the book. And when I got to I found this verse, I was looking at Luke 17:37. I was like, what in the world is this? And I was like, I got to figure out a way of incorporating this book in this. I have to incorporate this verse into the book. And I was struggling to do it. I was struggling. And then after much prayer and consideration, I said, okay, maybe my viewpoints here in my book are wrong. And I just have to alter my viewpoints to incorporate this verse. So I was willing to blow up large parts of my book to incorporate Luke 17:37 and the truth behind that verse, which I will go over in this video. So it's a verse that is really impactful, and there are others who have been impacted by that verse as well. So I hope you prayerfully consider what I'm about to say and the verse itself. So let's go down to the first section of my article here. The days of Noah appears in Matthew 24 in a section about the coming of Christ and what many people believe to be the rapture. So the days of Noah, the concept in Matthew 24 is that people are people living their lives completely unaware what's going on, and suddenly some people are taken while others are left. Many people assume that this is the rapture, the pre-tribulation rapture, where the righteous are taken away before the start of the tribulation and the wicked remain at the start of the tribulation. They have to then endure the tribulation itself. So Matthew 24 is used as oftentimes as a passage that people believe supports the pre-tribulation rapture, where the wicked remain and the righteous are gone. So it's an assumption, but is it correct? And you have to think about that in a lot of different things. Many people assume something to be true, but just because many people assume something is true doesn't mean it's actually true. And so we go down to Luke 17, which also mentions the days of Noah. And then you have Luke 17 stands out because Luke 17 mentions a part of the incident where the disciples are hearing about the days of Noah, and the disciples themselves actually ask, where are the people being taken to? If you look at Matthew 24 and you believe in the pre-tribulation rapture, you're assuming the people taken are going to heaven. In Luke 17, particularly in verse 37, Jesus explains that the people who are taken are basically taken to an area where you have a bunch of birds in the air and where there's a bunch of bodies. And you look at that and it's like, well, that doesn't sound really like heaven. That sounds like a different place. And so are people really being taken to heaven, or are they being taken to a place where there's a bunch of birds flying overhead and a bunch of bodies? And so Luke 17:37 has a phrase, wheresoever the body is thither, will the eagles be gathered together. This phrase is a really strange phrase, but it appears in Matthew 24:28. And but it's a little bit different in that verse. And it says, for wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. So carcass would imply dead bodies, not just bodies, but dead bodies. So the scene is basically, you have a bunch of birds flying in the air over a bunch of dead bodies. So those who are being taken to an area where eventually there'll be a bunch of birds flying over corpses. And so that's clearly not heaven. Clearly not heaven. So then you have to think, is this long-held assumption that the righteous are being taken away first and the wicked are left behind? Is that really the case? Because in Luke 17 and Matthew 24:28, you have a completely opposite view where it's it's people being taken to basically place a place where there's a bunch of dead bodies and birds flying overhead. That's completely the opposite. So what's really going on here? So is there another place in the Bible where we have a description of a bunch of birds flying over dead bodies? Are there other places in the Bible? And the answer is yes. You have it in two areas. You have it in Revelation 19 and Ezekiel 39. Revelation 19 about birds gathering together because Christ is coming to basically slaughter the wicked at Armageddon. And you have the same thing in Ezekiel 39, 17 through 19, where the birds are invited to this feast where the Lord is about to destroy Gog and his army. So that's what's going on. So the timing of this is, it's really late in the end times here with that type of description. So the question has to be asked, I think, could it be possible that those who are taken are wicked people who will be sent to their doom? Because those who are being taken to a place where there's going to be a bunch of dead bodies and birds flying overhead, and it's also they're being taken to a place basically where a bunch of people are about to get slaughtered by the Lord. And so, is it possible that the wicked are being taken to their doom? And so, I think the answer is yes. And so, the concept of the wicked being taken first and the righteous being left behind, this concept is counterintuitive to what we hear now. However, it also appears in Matthew 13 in the parable of the wheat and tares. In the parable of the wheat and tares, Christ actually says, gather first the tares being the unrighteous. Gather first the tares and bind them together and burn them. But he also says, gather the wheat. So the tares are gathered first. The wicked are taken first. The righteous are not taken first. That lines up with Luke 17. And so we have this idea through Luke 17, Matthew 24, Ezekiel 39, Revelation 19. The wicked are the ones who are gathered first, and the righteous are left behind. They're left behind. It's not the opposite. The righteous are not taken first, and the wicked are left behind. It's the wicked who are taken first. And so, who are the wicked? Revelation 14 records a scene where there's 3 angels giving a bunch of announcements. So the third angel warns, if anybody worships the beast or receives his mark, he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the angels and the Lamb Christ. So there's a warning about those who have the mark of the beast are going to get slaughtered and tortured in the presence of Christ and his angels, which you have in the second coming. You have this imagery in the second coming of Christ and his angels coming to slaughter the wicked, especially Revelation 19. And so I believe the wicked are those who are taken in Luke 17, Matthew 24, in the days of Noah. They're the ones who taken, the righteous remain. So I think the concept of left behind, the modern day way of viewing left behind, is unbiblical. It's actually the righteous who are left behind, and it's the wicked who are slaughtered. It is the righteous who will survive, and it is the wicked who will get slaughtered. The righteous will be the ones who are left behind, not the wicked. And it is like the days of Noah, where Noah and his family went into the ark. The people on earth drowned in the flood, but Noah and his family survived the flood. They were left behind. So that's where I think the days of Noah are used in Matthew 24 to illustrate that the Lord will protect the righteous at the time of this end time harvest, or the end time gathering of people. The righteous will be protected, but it will be the wicked who will perish. So I know it's not easy to accept the idea, especially if you come from the pre-tribulation background, that the wicked are the ones taken and the righteous are the ones left. It took me over 2 years to come to this conclusion myself, but once you understand this concept that the wicked are the ones taken, a lot of other passages and chapters will fall into place, and it'll become easier for you to understand other things about the end times. So, thank you for watching.